In the history of human exploration, explorers went out, and either they went alone or they went accompanied by very few people, and we on Earth only learned afterward, and rather remotely, what their experience had been. With IMAX, now when we go with the space explorers, and we really go with them. The whole of the Earth is sort of beside them as they do their exploration in space. And this has never happened in human history.
Well, space is a wonderful place to explore, and youngsters all over the world are really dying to understand what's going on in space. And so we wanted to show them what humans do in space, what robots do there, what the challenges are, the medical problems that you might have to overcome, what robots are going to do and how they're going to be working with people. And we also want to show them some wonderful landscapes of other planets that people have never visited, but that spacecraft have. And that film rolls it all into one, and I think they're going to have a good time watching it.
The IMAX films have touched just a broad spectrum of our population, from the young to the elderly. And what they brought home to us in such vivid imagery is the beauty of space, the importance of space, and what humankind can accomplish in space. So I think it's kindled that pioneering spirit that's been so important part of this nation's heritage and as well as its destiny.
Destiny in Space differs from the other two space films we've made, Dream is Alive and Blue Planet, in that it takes people on a much longer journey to places that they couldn't possibly go before now. That is namely to other planets.
In Blue Planet, we took advantage of that position in space that the shuttle gives us to look down at our planet and learn about what's going on our planet. And in this film, we take advantage of that same position in space to look out into the solar system and out into the universe.
T-minus 5 minutes and hold it.
Yes, sir. You have a go to proceed.
Copy. GLS, pick up the clock on your mark, please. Stored program command.
Wilco?
One of the things about IMAX is sometimes it can get closer and see things better than a person could.
The closest you can be during a launch that most anybody gets would be at the press site where the accredited media are, and that's 3 miles away. So most people never get any closer than that. Launch shot from STS-61 that's in Destiny in Space was taken by a camera that's in a fireproof box mounted on a steel pedestal that is about 100 feet from the launch pad. And during launch, this camera gets pelted with all sorts of little debris and things that's coming out away from the orbiter as the 1.5 million pounds thrust of the main engines fire off. Things start flying away, and the shuttle builds up momentum and then finally launches, and you're sitting right there 100 feet from it in the IMAX screen, and it's quite a unique perspective.
Yes, sir. You have a go to proceed.
Something very big is going to happen, and something very big is going to happen to you. And so you kind of hang on. You hang on to your seat and you hang on to your heart. Because things are going to happen.
3, 2, 1, 0, and liftoff.
As the orbiter lifts off, you can feel all the shaking, you can feel all the power behind you. You can see the steam and exhaust as it comes up around you. And then the shuttle starts climbing very rapidly, and you have this tremendous sensation that you're going up an elevator that's shot through the roof and is going to continue forever. It's like the whole world has just changed into something totally different, and you've gone over an edge that you can't go back to.
3 engines throttling back up, 3 engines now at 104.
They come off, you get all this flame around you, and it's a big jolt, and they fall away. It gets very smooth on board, and you can see as you look out the window that you are leaving the Earth.
Best part of the mission actually was looking at the Earth from space. This had to be the most phenomenal thing, seeing something. It's the biggest thing I've ever seen in my entire life, absolutely huge, and it was something that you can't really prepare yourself for. You can do science on the ground and train for science, but you really can't train your mind for viewing the Earth from space.
Working with a 90-pound camera in ZeroG, I wondered before we flew, how that was going to be, how that was going to work, because when you come in to train us, you you guys can lift up an elephant, and you walked around with this camera and put it on dollies and rolled it around, and here we were going to be in ZeroG. It was my first flight. First time to use this camera was also my first flight.
We usually have about 25 hours of training time to get them up to speed to where they can load the camera, change film, learn how to take light readings the way we like them to take light readings, let them learn how to shoot IMAX as opposed to shooting video or 16 film, which they're accustomed to shooting, because it's totally different shooting for IMAX than it is for any of these other formats. The astronauts are really good students. They're quick learners. They pick up things technically, particularly, very quickly. It's tough for me to stay ahead of them a lot of times. I'll put the camera down and they'll be playing with it and have it loaded before I can show them how.
And it was actually pretty easy to use in ZeroG. In fact, a whole lot easier than it is on the ground, because you can just let go of it and it stays put.
And we're getting a good extreme close-up view, in this case, of the IMAX 70mm motion picture camera, as pilot Steve Oswald continues to handle the IMAX camera.
And what was it like in space? Well, I tell them it was like hanging by your heels and feeling the blood rush to your head and being on the top of the roller coaster and feeling like your stomach is just about to leave your body, and it stays like that for 8 days.
For Destiny, we were able to, for the first time, take the IMAX camera away from the shuttle on another spacecraft and for the first time, take pictures of the shuttle itself. Well, we got astounding footage. We got something that nobody had ever seen before, which is really high-fidelity IMAX pictures of the Space Shuttle taken from nearby on another spacecraft.
This was done from a platform called SPAS, and it is flying in close proximity to the shuttle, and both of them are traveling at 17,500 miles an hour going around the Earth. And the SPAS with the IMAX camera aboard is shooting pictures of the shuttle as the shuttle is doing maneuvers and flying in space, which is something that's never been seen in this format before.
The final sequence in Destiny in Space, the service mission for the Hubble Space Telescope. This is the mission that will repair the optical problems with the mirror and bring up to date other mechanisms aboard the Space Telescope.
You are not working on your lawnmower. You could be, but you are not. And the fact that you are working on the most powerful instrument in the world, but also something of incredible beauty, when you are working on something which is already of that beauty, it gets you. It gets your heart and soul. So it's not just being a craftsman to fix something in that kind of way, but you are working on something and with something that is that beautiful. And also the kind of play which is going on in the head. You've got this extraordinary, beautiful Earth. You got a beautiful spaceship, but you're also thinking of what Hubble brings back to humanity in terms of aesthetics. It is not just science.
In this film, we leave Earth altogether and visit other planets for the first time. And that is an experience that nobody has had other than the astronauts who've gone to the moon so far. You'll see the surfaces of Venus and Mars in extraordinary soaring flyovers. You'll see the globe of Jupiter in detail that no one has ever seen it before, in motion.
You look at all these stars and think, we have just scratched the surface in our destiny in space. I mean, surely our destiny is out there someplace.